money run out. You know what I'm saying? You can always run out of money. But through any situation, you can maintain happiness. It's something you gotta, kind of get to that point.
If you look at it, most of our scenarios on TV shows, movies, whatever, this generation, is catered toward money to make them happy. They'll rob something. I got to get this money, man, and I know we can sell this or we can do this. But if you look back at James Evans and Good Times, you look at Fred Sanford, and you look back at George and Wheezy, they did nothing criminal, but they were happy.
Yeah.
They were happy. They displayed a lot of happiness. They dealt with a lot of serious situations, but they handled them in the right way. They didn't contribute those situations to crime or doing something illegal. Right. So I think it's possible. You can be broke and happy, but it's hard. It's very hard to do it the opposite way. Right. You need that happiness.
That's a good way to put it, for sure. What do you think about marriage before 30?
Marriage before 30, I think marriage should evolve around true love. And most people don't know what true love is initially, because once they feel something they've never felt, which turns out to be lust, from generation from sex, or even emotion, from feeling something you just never felt before, or tension or whatever, and you relate that to love, but that's not always love. When it's true love, and you'll know it when you find it. When it's true love, it's time to get married. It's time to take that woman or man off the market and afford all your attention to them. Because I believe that's the right one, and they can make me happy, and I have a desire to make them happy. So as long as it's true love, I don't think no age. I got married, and my wife was 18, and we've been married 34 years, and I'm still in love with her, and I don't say that just because we're talking, and that's your mother, right. But honestly, I still truly love her, and I don't love her like I loved her when she was 18. I love her more, so I think what we had was true and real. What we have is true and real, so. Right. Age shouldn't be affected, but it should be maturity. You can't call the first thing, the first flavor you taste, to be the real thing. You don't know. You hadn't had no flavor but vanilla. Right. Taste some chocolate and strawberry, and then you'll be able to say, I think vanilla, is something I can live with it. I like vanilla, But when you just taste, one flavor, and think that flavor is going to be the flavor you're going to be tasting the rest of your life, you in for a surprise. Right. Because somewhere down the road, we don't want to face this. That's the whole problem. We don't want to face this, but it's reality. Down the road, that woman or man is going to say, whether they said to you or not, I wonder what chocolate tastes like. I wonder what strawberry tastes. They're going to wonder, they're going to want to know. And so, my thing is, as long as you have those thoughts and questions and concerns, you're not ready yet. You really hadn't made up your mind. But once you've made up your mind, once you've had those flavors and been exposed to those flavors, and you say, no, you know what, it's all it's cool, and it's kind of, but I'm going with this. Then you're ready. Then you're ready.
I agree with that. I think. That's definitely more important than age. It's true love, knowing whether that's who you should be with or not. But I always like the example used, like with Adam and Eve, how we should view our, relationships. Like it's only us, it's only you and your partner, So I always loved how you use that example. And I think that's how people should go about their relationships, just viewing it just us, against the world kind of thing. And we depend on each other to make it through our situation. Right. We depend on each other to make sure we're feeling good. It's things of that nature, and just depending on each other for everything. And helping each other through life, just going through life together.
And see, that's one. That's right, and that's what our problem is. We feel like we have choices. America has given us this contract guarantee us so many choices, but we see as a black man, those choices are not really what they say they are. But in relationships, you shouldn't feel like you have choices. If you don't work out, I can go Melinda. What you want to do, Susie will do, and those type of things. No, make it work with the one you're with.
Right.
If you love her and she loves you, make your relationship work because you wanted to work with her because you want her to want it to work with you.
Exactly.
You don't want her to feel like she got choices either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the one. If you have a problem, I'm your man. You need some money, I'm your man. You got an itch, I'm the one that's gonna scratch it. You know, you need to make her feel that way, and she need to feel the same way too.
Definitely, I agree. And today's generation, there's so much access to all these, other options we got. It's crazy, but hey, if y'all plan on getting married out there, y'all better be listening. Is college worth it? Question mark. What do you think about that?
I think college done the right way is worth it. You know, it's a higher, it's exactly what it says. It's a higher level of education. Now, if you're not going to use that education, and if you're not going to get that education, then you don't, need to go to college. You need to maybe go to a trade school, because I think doing hair or plumbing, electricity, things of that nature, they're just as important as college if that's what you want to do. Right. But college has definitely has an impact on you education wise. Like let's say you want to be a doctor. There's some things you need to know in the medicine field. Yeah. So if you're going in that field, you need to know more about that field. College is definitely enhancement for you. But if you're going to college and all you're learning is how to party and have fun and stay away from home and get as many girls or guys and try things you ain't never tried before and all that, it's going to defeat the purpose. You're just going to come home an educated fool. Yeah. You got the paper, but you don't have the knowledge. So I think college has its pluses, but it also got its minuses. If you go, I've had so many friends to go to college, and the only thing they came back with is debt. They came back with a baby. They came back with a habit. They were strung out or alcoholics. When you go, if you afforded the opportunity to go, and thank God they made some doors open where, Pell Grants and student loans where a poor person can go to college. But go to college and get what you went there for. Right. That's if you do that now, I think it will be to your advantage.
Definitely, I can definitely agree with that because that's the number one reason I didn't go to college because I felt like with the mindset that I was in graduating, it's the 18-year-old fresh out of high school mindset, wanting to feeling like I just got out of jail kind of thing, like, oh, I'm finally out, I can do whatever. It's like I just knew if I was to go to college, I wouldn't be ready. I could already picture myself, going to parties and doing just everything I'm not supposed to do. And then I'm seeing it on social media every day. I've seen so many of my friends that's in college right now that, they're not posting no work, no exams, no quizzes, no study. I'm seeing bottles on bottles. I'm seeing, parties. It's everything but what I would expect college to be like, But like you said, it can be good or bad just depending on, how serious you take it,
Right, and the thing I love, especially about this country, is you mature, you grow up, experience, you go through things, you grow, and so you don't have to go to college when you're 18. You can go to college when you're 25. You can go to college when you're 35. You know what I'm saying? When you are ready to receive that education, to receive that information, then you can go. But if you're not going for the right reason, you're really just wasting your time and who's ever money. You need to go have made up in your mind that God has afforded me this opportunity to get, information in this particular field. So I'm gonna spend the next 4 to 6 years getting this information. I'll party when I leave college. But right now while I'm in college, I'm gonna learn what I need to learn. So when I get out, I know what I need to know.
Definitely, yeah. I agree with that. Should men always pay?
No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe men should always pay because make that a rule. And that don't need to be the case. The man, of course he needs to be the strong backbone, have the shall we say, he wants the final say, but he need to have the final pay, If nobody else can do it, he need to come up with a way to do it. So I believe in that part, but I believe both people should equally invest in their relationship.
Right.
Otherwise, if you know, the first thing come to your mind, you think about leaving, you don't feel like you're losing nothing because you ain't investing nothing. You know, well, Henry like me. Henry got a good job. You know, I just leave him and start dating Henry. But if you've invested in this relationship, you put money in, you put time in, emotions, feelings, then you don't want to just throw all that away. You know, you want to get the most out of it too, because you've invested some things and some money and some time in your life as well. So I believe both people should invest, you know, pay.